This weekend's video is all about extending Photoshop actions using JavaScript. You can use any JavaScript editor you like. However, for the purposes of this demonstration, I've used Adobe Edge Code. Today we'll be using JavaScript to work with IPTC data, something that's not necessarily very easy in Actions. In this case, we're going to manipulate the caption data in order to prepare this image for a web gallery. This means removing the part of the caption that's useful for archiving and for editors, but not necessarily useful for the public. Photoshop allows access to IPTC data by using the File Info window located in the File menu. In this case, we're looking at IPTC data for a photo I shot for the Calgary Herald in July of 2015. We can manually change the IPTC data in this window. However, that would not be an efficient workflow, especially if we're trying to create a web gallery. Let's transition into a code window where I can show you a piece of code I've already written to automate the process of removing data from a caption. We'll walk through each part of the JavaScript code in order to show you exactly what this does and how it affects Photoshop. Let's take a look at the first two lines of the code. This will duplicate the image that is open and then set the brand new image to the active image in Photoshop. Setting the active image is very important because we want to ensure that we're only making changes to the duplicate image and not the original. Next, we'll be loading IPTC data into various variables. First, the author of the photo into the author variable. Next, we'll load the credit line into the company information, in this case the Calgary Herald. And lastly, we'll load in the caption into the caption variable, as you can see here. We want to start manipulating the caption, and we'll do that by using regular expressions. The yellow highlighted text is a text that we want to keep. The grayed out text is a text we want to remove. Both lines of code will select various parts of the caption, as shown highlighted in yellow. Regular expressions are used to search through strings of text in order to match certain values. The first line of code will match all of the characters up until it can no longer find any more double dashes. The second line of code will search for a parentheses, the author, a forward slash, the company name, and then all the text behind that. The reason why we're using two regular expressions rather than a single regular expression is really for simplicity. This text will then be stored into the two variables. Next, we're going to use that stored variable data and JavaScript's replace function in order to remove that text from the caption. Lastly, the displayed piece of code will reinsert the modified caption into the caption IPTC field. Now we want to take that JavaScript file and place it into Photoshop so it can be used. This means opening up the application folder, the presets folder, the scripts folder, and then copying over the JavaScript file into that scripts folder like so. We're then going to want to restart Photoshop. We'll now create an action, including that script, in order to run it. This can be accomplished by adding the scripts from the script menu into the action. We'll then switch to button mode and then run that script in order to show you how it works. Just like that. And now if we reopen the IPTC data, we can see that the duplicate has the brand new modified caption in the caption field. We can now add other actions such as resizing the image and sharpening the image for a web gallery, but we'll leave that for another weekend workflow video. Look in the video description below for links to regular expression information and to a copy of the JavaScript file that I've created for this demonstration. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please click subscribe below. I'd really appreciate it. You can also visit my Facebook page at facebook.com/weekendworkflow. It's all one word. There you can tell me about what kind of workflow videos you'd be interested in watching, or simply give me feedback on whether you're finding these useful or not. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next weekend.